back at Greenbrier Lake. Back at the family lodge. I'm wanting to work on the cleaning the jet pump for the water system, so that in the spring it doesn't catch like it did. And I'm going to take it apart. I'll take it apart now. It's 60 degrees already. It's supposed to be headed to a high of 74. So we'll take a look around. First I'll unlock everything. You can see the beautiful blue skies. There are some high clouds. Oh. I'll start getting things unlocked. And we'll take a quick look around and see if everything is in good order. And again, my key is wrapped up. There we go. And the clock on the stove is flashing, which means the power's been off again. Oh, there's nothing there, so I'll take these apart. Open the pavilion up. The latch is open. It's dried out some. The doors always stick when it's a bit out. Locked. That's unlocked. That's sticking some. Basketball came out from underneath there. This came unzipped. Oh, but it survived the windstorm. Looks like it survived the windstorm of Friday and Saturday. There's some limbs down though. Quite a few limbs down. At least the leaves blew off of the pier. If I got time today, I may go ahead and mow the back, maybe mow the front real quick with the push mower, or with the riding mower. Small bass down there. A lot of leaves in the water. Before I leave, I'll just go around, show some of the beauty. So quiet, other than a jet going westbound, probably about 35,000 feet. You just barely see it in the contrail. It's that beautiful blue sky. Sun's warm. Won't need this sweatshirt much longer. Always check the screens. Screens seem to have survived. Go ahead and unlock the pump room, since that's what we're going to be working on. Everything looks the way I left it. So the temporary shed was able to withstand the 50-mile-an-hour winds out here on Saturday. You can see it got pushed back slightly, and what happened are the poles on the side where they're in the anchors just bent back a little bit, got pushed back a little bit. What I want to do is give you an idea of how to open this door easily. It's got Velcro at the top, and it's got two straps to hold it up. That's very cumbersome to get it started unless you take each end, lay it over about 45 degrees on top of each other, and then it gives you a point at the middle to start, and I'll show you. Pull it out, take the end, fold them over at about a 45-degree angle. And just take the point here, start rolling it up. Nice and tight. Strap to Velcro. Voila. Very easy. Well, while I was setting up basketballs outside, you can see where the rock's been disturbed, probably from the wind we had on Friday and Saturday, blowing the tarp covering against the rocks. Got some bare spots. Before I get started on the pump, I'm going to go ahead and mow these leaves back here. I got a table set up and I was just ready to get the tools, but I'm dragging a lot of leaves inside. You can see the wood that's down. Quite a bit of wood down. So I'm just going to do this back, leave the tractor out, and then do the rest of the yard after I get done with the pump. pretty good job getting rid of them. Now I can start on the pump. Okay, the first thing I need to do is, one, make sure the pump is off. That way there's no electricity going to it. Remove the cover to the switch and remove the white wire, neutral. Didn't leave myself much room with the shelf that I put in here. There we go. And the hot, which is the black. Remove the common and the black. And the neutral wire is connected to that neutral ground right there. There we go. Need to back off the strain relief a little bit. And I need to wind the wire a little bit here. Straighten that curl out. Pull it through. And that's disconnected. I need a straight edge. I need to loosen these clamps so I can take them off. Usually there's not much. Take off this output hose. Take off the input hose. And then remove two bolts that hold it to the base, to the storage tank, bladdered storage tank. This is the 1-inch input from the lake. Loosen both of these quite a bit. I'm going to set you up here so that you can watch. First thing I want to do is get this input hose off of here. It is always the hardest. After a year of sucking water out of the lake, it forms a pretty good seal. These well backed off. Back to the connector back here. Now we're just going to break the seal. See if I can't get under this a little bit. The nipple there is ribbed, which once you tighten down those clamps, it really gets it sticking on there. water's starting to come out of there, which means not all the water came out. Now I'm going to go get a hammer and we'll knock it back in there a little bit. Got a little smaller screwdriver too, a smaller blade. Hopefully I can go. Now for the output pipe. Loosen these up to where they'll float on down. Off the nozzle or nipple, whatever you want to call it. Don't want to tighten it, do I? There we go. The rest of this we can leave together for what I want to do. See, I grabbed by grabbing that screwdriver. There we come. And that is apart. There it is. Clean off the end of this. Now I'll try to set you up down here. You'll see there's two screws, bolts, that hold this on down here. There's one on this side, one on the other, and that's the only thing that holds it to the tank. I need to remove those, and then I can take the tank off, or the pump off. Look like about ½ inch. Got the tools out front. Grab ½ inch. Nothing difficult about this, it's just awkward. See what happened to the nut. It fell down underneath. Put these together and set them up here. And now to get this one. Yep, I can just hold it with my finger now. And in fact, I can push it off. Grab the nut, grab the washer. Make room out there on the table and move that out there.
to videotape was taking the pump apart and cleaning it. Unfortunately, the camera records in 15-minute intervals, but the battery died before the end of the interval and the video file was corrupted. So I'll tell you what I did, which was take the pump apart, and I used CLR and white vinegar on it to clean the pump body, the disperser, and the impeller. In the spring, the impeller jammed against the cast iron casing channel because of buildup in the channel. I used a sheet of sandpaper between the impeller and the channel to try to clean up any of that buildup. Unfortunately, there were two spots where the sandpaper would not fit behind the impeller due to buildup in the channel. So I used an X-Acto knife to clean out the channel so that the sandpaper moved freely around the entire perimeter of the impeller. Hopefully this allows the pump to start without problems in the spring, and I think that'll correct everything.
Not sure when that video died. It must have died while I was in the cabin getting something. But I've got it all put back together. I ran the motor, make sure it's still turning freely, which it is. You don't hear it stopping quickly or anything else, it just keeps running. And now I've installed a 1/4-inch ball valve on the bottom that we can use to drain this. I'm trying to get away from having to take these drain plugs out because they have a tendency to want to cross thread and strip. So hopefully that will work. Now I'm going to reinstall the pump. You've seen that before, so I may save you having to watch that. Well, I lied to you. I put the 2 bolts back on there, and the pump is sitting comfortably. I thought I'd show you one way to get these pipes back on there. One way is to get some dish soap, put some on your finger, and then just lubricate the inside of the pipe. As you can see, it just slides back on. Bring this up a little bit. There we go. Bring the clamps back up. Tighten the first one so nothing will move. Second one and tighten it a little more if need be. We'll get a wrench to tighten these once we start it up in the spring. But I'm not going to get too serious about this because every once in a while I have to take that hose off to pour water down it. Shouldn't have to do that anymore with this valve here. Open that back up. But you never know. It's tight. That's tight. And I'll do the same thing with this outlet pipe. Take some soap, spread it on the inside, make it nice and slick, and then just work it on. Oh, they go on so much nicer than they come off. Tighten down the first one so nothing moves. Soap off my finger and put the second one on. should be able to tighten that as much as I want, because that should stay on there, should not come off unless we've got trouble with the pump. Tight. Tight. Now we'll just bring the wire back over. Put it in through the is cut back this insulation where it's loose so that I get a good bite on that insulation. There we go. I can tighten this down, get a bite on the insulation to hold it in place. Feel secure. Take this off a little bit. Get the white wire in. There we go. Put the black hot wire in. Tighten it down tight. Those are both in securely. Bring the ground wire over. Back it off a little more. There we go. Pushing it down is where I need the straight blade. There we go. Tighten it down. There we go. And as a final test, we'll just flip the pump on just momentarily. Everything sounds like it's working well. Put the top on. And screw it down so it doesn't fall off. And that's the pump is done. Hopefully that allows it to start up easier in the spring. Well, I'm ready to go home, clean up. So I'll show you a little of what I got done, starting with the last first. I cleaned the ditches out with the push mower. There's still some leaves in it, but for the most part, I got the leaves out of the big ditches. I then took the riding mower and mulched the leaves that were on the island here and on the other side. The ditch was as filled as this is. That's on the riprap, so I can't get on top of it, and Dave said they were going to blow it off tomorrow. But you can see that the island is pretty clear. I came back to the back part and mulched all the leaves back here. There were quite a few, and they cut up really good. I'd rather see the leaves go back into the soil than burn them up. So that was the last thing that I have accomplished. I just finished. So it's pretty nice. Give you a view of the day. It has turned out. Left home about 9. It was 46. I got down here about 10:15, and it was just getting close to 60. I would say it's easily 75 now from the feel of it. I need to close up the yard barn, and I need to close up the temporary shed. Dave said that we had 50-mile-an-hour winds here, and I can believe it. If you look in the back, you can see how instead of going straight towards the lake, the beams on the ground are pushed back somewhat. And that's from the wind wanting to move it back, but they are anchored well. So I will release the Velcro and let that drop down. Come back and zip it up. A lot of dust on the lake. I did not mow out here because the wind has blown most of it away. For 50-mile-an-hour winds, it would have blown the old screens out. The new screens I built, you don't notice any different. They're nice and solid now. And the first thing I did, actually the first thing I did was cut up the leaves that are along this back. They were pretty thick. And then after that, I set up a table out here and took that pump apart. Notice how easy it turns now. I'll turn off the light. And I'll reach back here and lock the door. And this is when you close up. That's done for the winter. And all I got to do now is go in, lock the screen doors, lock the pavilion door, get my drink out of the refrigerator and head home. So until then, take care of yourself. Not sure when I'll be back. It's supposed to be another nice day tomorrow, but starting Friday, it's supposed to get down to 56. And then over the weekend, it's going to start dropping into the 20s. So, not sure when I'll get back. The leaves are mowed. The winterizing is done. So I may just be down to coming back to check on the property every once in a while. Or when Connie gets tired of me and kicks me out of the house. So, until then, take care of yourself.